Hey there, Herbal Gaming. I'm Ross.
I'm Basil.
And we're here today with some news here. Actually, Basil, he went and got all of the moves that Pokemon will be getting this generation, both in egg moves and in tutor moves. And he compared that to all of the Pokemon moves that they've gotten in the previous generation. Basil, would you like to explain?
The new moves I got from Malik and the current moves or previous generation moves I got from vkun.com. So
Would you like to explain some of the faults?
Check?
Yeah,
huh?
some of the faults.
Oh yeah, there's just a couple of false positives in that second spreadsheet there, and I was too lazy to go through and work out all the bugs. But
there's some stray false positives in the first sheet as well, but so like these ones in red here, these are the ones that these are the ones.
Pokemon has several forms that just means they'll show up on this sheet, and I didn't go through and correct it.
Yeah, so like these red ones are the ones that I've confirmed to be false positives. There are probably more in here. We will be having both of these sheets in the description below. So if you guys want to hunt through these things and like comment down below which ones we've missed and whatnot, we will be fixing that. Let's get right to it. So a bunch of new Pokemon, a bunch of new moves. So like the first one I wanted to talk about was Strength Sap. We'll be getting like a bunch of interesting Pokemon such as Victory Bell. We'll be getting it along with Pokemon such as Jumpluff and like the Vileplume evolutionary line. I don't think it's going to be particularly game changing, considering that like of these three, like none of them are especially tanky, so I don't think they'd be doing a whole lot with this. I can see Jumpluff using this as like a niche support move, maybe in doubles, but I feel like this move will be underutilized by these Pokemon here. One hilarious one that I found actually was Bufflaunt. So hold on, let me just try to move this right here. Here we go. Alright. So it will be utilizing its giant Afro mane in order to use the move Cotton Guard to like raise its defenses by 3 stages. I think that's hilarious. I don't know how useful it will be. It's reasonably bulky, but it's not that fast. But I would love to see somebody like making some gimmick set out of this. If you do, please like comment it, like a replay of it below, and we would just love to see this hilarious, like, to see this kind of hilarity ensue. Some more noteworthy ones. Power Up Punch. Some notable figures getting it would be like Infernape and Muk. So like Infernape getting it, I don't think would be such a huge thing since it already gets Swords Dance, and I feel like Swords Dance would be more useful for it since it would be getting more boosts, and Power Up Punch doesn't do a whole lot of damage. So I feel like it would be better off with a Swords Dance. Muk would be getting it, which I think would be interesting in doubles, because Alolan Muk, the way that it functions in doubles, at least in VGC, is that it just takes up space, soaks up hits, and deals some chip damage, and hope that its Poison Touch ability will be able to trigger and like slowly whittle away at the opponents. However, with Power Up Punch, it can give itself a little bit more power and potentially do more than just like a tiny bit of chip damage to a few Pokemon. Another one that gets it, which I think would be interesting to see and potentially useful for the same reason, is Scrafty. Scrafty is more of a utility Pokemon, but it's less bulky than Muk. However, it is more offensive than Muk. So I feel like this could kind of also utilize Power Up Punch as well. So I'd be interested to see if and how the doubles metagame will shift in order to it will shift according to these changes. Another one which will be getting Power Up Punch is Mawile. However, I don't think it's going to be a huge change since, like Chimchar, it gets Swords Dance, so it gets more boosts and like the added benefit of like a tiny bit of damage, like a 40 base power damage if I'm correct, isn't enough in my opinion to warrant running Power Up Punch over Swords Dance, but perhaps we will see some sets that will utilize this. So one interesting one that I wanted to talk about, Chimecho, however you want to pronounce it, you will be getting a few new changes. Like it will now learn Perish Song and Crafty Shield. Crafty Shield I think is pretty much useless considering Misty Terrain does its job but better. But Perish Song would be interesting. It has meh stats, but I personally would be interested in trying out a Trick Room Perish Song set. I don't know how useful it will be, probably not very, but it will be fun to like use something like this. Cottony, it will be which evolves into. By the way, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm gonna be like showing the final evolution of the Pokemon here, since these are the ones that are most likely gonna be the ones most using these. Anyhow, Whimsicott will be getting Misty Terrain, so a bunch of Pokemon will be getting like Misty Terrain moves, such as like Abra here gets Psychic Terrain. However, I think Whimsicott would be the only one with a ton of potential with these moves. And the reason being is it has the Prankster ability, and what that does is it allows it to move first. Hold on, let me just get this music. Alright, hold up.
I'll click replay.
Yeah, replay. Yeah. Whoops.
You're good. That should work.
Alright. Anyhow, yeah, so it will be able to use this Prankster ability to like pull off some things to potentially win the terrain war. So for example, if there's a Tapu Lele on the field with Psychic Terrain, what you could do is use Misty Terrain with this to like cancel out the terrain and potentially Sucker Punch to like score a surprise KO on the opponent. So I feel like this can have some potential splash in the metagame. But like all we can really do is wait and see. So a bunch of Pokemon get Sticky Webs, which I feel like is the biggest things that will come out of egg moves. Like we will get Ribombee and Dewpider with this, which will be interesting. And like more interestingly, actually, Swirlix will be getting it, which makes sense because like cotton candy, it's sticky, it's stringy, kind of like a web, but like. This kind of starts making less sense when you put in Slurpuff, which is a cake, but whatever, Nintendo, you do you. I think Sticky Web is an interesting form of speed control, and I think it has some interesting potential in doubles, and I think part of the reason why it isn't as big of a thing as I think it would otherwise be is simply because not a whole lot of Pokemon will get it, and I feel like opening the door to like having more Pokemon getting it will potentially make it a more viable form of speed control. Dino, which like eventually evolves into Hydreigon, it will be getting Belch, which I think would be interesting because like it's a 120 power special attacking move whose drawback is only that like it has to be eating a berry beforehand. So I'm thinking like run this with a citrus berry, and then like from then on you'd be able to punish incoming pesky fairy types. And although it is fairly gimmicky, I feel like it could be an interesting ace in the hole, especially in lower tiers. Farfetch will be getting First Impression. I don't think this is metagame changing at all. I just thought this would be cool to point out. That's all I really wanted to say. So Camerupt will be getting Heavy Slam. When I first saw this, I was super excited because like in the doubles metagame, the biggest hindrance to this is Tapu Fini, and I thought, yay, this thing gets Heavy Slam. Maybe it will be able to do some surprise damage to this thing and have an easier time of KOing it. However, this is unfortunately not the case. But well, we'll see if it runs Heavy Slam. Probably not, but who knows what the metagame will have in store. Shelmet will be getting Toxic Spike, so its evolution Excellor, like a fast suicide lead kind of Pokemon, will be able to get it. So I'd be interested to see if this thing raises in viability as a suicide lead. Garbodor actually will be getting Autotomized, so it will be able to double its speed. and potentially act as a late game sweeper. So we can look forward to the gag of instead of you sweeping the trash will literally be sweeping you. So that's about it for the egg moves. Now we're a lot of the actual viable stuff comes from is the
move tutor moves.
Move tutor moves.
Yep.
Yeah, I accidentally clicked here. Yeah. The move tutor moves. Yeah, hold on a sec. Alright. Yeah, so we get a few interesting ones. Start off with like Komodo, which was kind of like the laughing stock of the pseudo legendaries for quite a while now. It will be getting a bunch of interesting moves. It will be getting physical water move in the form of Aqua Tail, which is good considering that it will be like the first water move that it will be getting. And it will be getting all the elemental punches as well as Iron Tail, Low Kick, Superpower, Iron Head, and a bunch of new stuff. And it's truly baffling because like when I was reading this, like I realized, hey, this thing doesn't have a move with the word punch. And now it's finally getting like moves with the word punch, which I think is hilarious in its own regard and kind of bad design in Nintendo's part. But I guess this is what tutor moves are for, to like fix up the shit that they forgot to do in the last gen. Hopefully the combination of all of these moves, along with the new Z move, which is fucking insane, which allows it to boost all of its stats minus evasiveness and accuracy, and like dealing not an insignificant amount of damage to the opponent. I kind of wonder if this thing will be enough to like shoot this up into the OU tier, which would be a nice welcome considering the last pseudo legendary to reach the OU tier was like in Gen 4. So here's to another pseudo in OU, hopefully. This was a pretty big one. A bunch of Pokemon will be getting defog, like this huge list right here. So a bunch of stuff like Volcanion, Whimsicott, Tornadus, Thundurus, Tapu Koko, Superior for whatever reason, Rubombi, and Blaziken. Yeah, some of these don't make a lick of sense, like Superior, which is just like some giant snake Pokemon. I don't quite see why it gets default thematically. However, like there's some that are like just genuinely upsetting, and I'm referring to Landorus. Hold up. Yeah, Landorus right here, which like this Pokemon already has like 50 different sets and is basically like an S tier in every kind of metagame that it's in, like OU singles and like doubles OU. Like it's the only S rank. It's insane. Yeah, I really wonder if this move, which is super useful in singles metagame, on this super useful Pokemon in every metagame, will be used. Maybe for some kind of like niche tech or something. I can only wonder what like the metagame will have in store for us. So yeah, that's my small rant about that. So a bunch of different Pokemon will be getting Drain Punch. A bunch of Pokemon which I thought like should have been getting Drain Punch from the beginning, such as like Komo, like Crabominable and Buzzable and Beware. It's kind of shocking that they haven't gotten this from the beginning, and I feel like this could bring some viability. In other news, Pheromosa will now get an Oko move in the form of Drill Run, which is the latest of a series of fuck yous that Nintendo has sent Smogon. Togedemaru, hold on a sec. Togedemaru will be getting Endeavor and Super Fang, which will finally allow Togedemaru to achieve its dream of being a Pika clone on par with Pachirisu. And Celesteela gets like a cool few new things in the form of Zen Headbutt and Superpower. Like, I don't know how useful Superpower will be, but like I feel like it would be an interesting thing to put on there to hit some Pokemon that wouldn't normally be hit, and it will allow it to. And Zen Headbutt will be able to allow it to chip away at things with things other than like Leech Seed and Heavy Slam. Marshadow will be getting a ton of new cool stuff actually. it'll be getting knockoff, which is like viable in like every tier ever. It will also be getting outrage to like deal like a shitload of damage. It will be super useful in singles, I feel. Iron Head and Zen Headbutt, all of these will be really good coverage moves, but I'm particularly excited about Iron Head to deal with these pesky fucking fairy types, because like, holy shit, this fucking fairy type is more broken than a carton of eggs in a goddamn hurricane. And talking about these goddamn fairy types, the Tapus get like a ton of fucking buffs. Like, so all of the Tapus will be getting Iron Defense for whatever reason, even though like it makes no sense thematically. It would be really interesting to put this on top of Wooloo, considering it's like reasonably bulky and like pretty bulky defensively, along with the fact that it gets passive recovery with its ability. So like this will open up the door for like some more bulky sets. However, like, this bullshittery does not come close to the bullshittery known as Tapu Fini, because this thing gets the move Calm Mind. So in doubles, the set that I come across the most is the Calm Mind variant, which is already bulky as shit. This goddamn monster already has an amazing type. It has amazing stats. It's super bulky, and it has a terrain that prevents it from being statist. And I feel like the fact that it gets Calm Mind and now that it gets Iron Defense to like make its already good defenses go to like a million and fuck you, it will allow for some like pretty annoying gameplay like to go up against. And it will also allow some like memeur to make some Calm Mind Iron Defense bulky sweeper to meme some poor fuck on the battle spot the same way that like Verlisify sweeps people with like his Mega Slowbro. And like I believe that like once Tapu Fini gets a recovery move in the future, then it's immediately gonna lane itself in the Uber tier. To continue with like Tapu Fini, but also like add in Tapu Lele, these now get Magic Coat. I feel like this could be interesting to act as like anti-leads, and like have some interesting mind games there. And also like to have some gimmick, for some fun gimmicks. Cause fun fact, its Z move boosts your special defense by 2 stages, and like I was just talking about how this thing is bulky as shit. So yeah, with that in mind, happy trolling. So as like Nintendo were like pouring steroids into Tapu Fini's drink, they decided to like look at Tapu Koko and started wondering why everyone was running the special variant, even though its attack stat is way better than, well, not way better, it's significantly better than its special attack. So they decided to like change this by giving it Iron Head, Thunder Punch, and Sky Attack, a bunch of physical moves. So now that it has access to these physical moves, I feel like that there's no doubt in my mind that physical Tapu Koko will become more of a thing than it is right now. I'm particularly interested in seeing like a power herb Sky Attack thing to like delete something immediately to start the game. And yeah, this about makes it for this list right here. Now I feel like all this stuff can like shake up the metagame right here. And I can already see a bunch of Smogon players sitting over their computers ready to shout like ban Pokemon such and such and start a feud that will make a geopolitical crisis look like a playground fight. Yeah, here's to the new game, and like I'd like you guys to like comment which moves you're excited about, and if we've gotten anything wrong. We will put all these pages, as we've mentioned before. We'll put these pages in the description so that you guys can look through them, tell us what we got wrong, and like look at stuff that we didn't mention here that you guys would like to say, hey, this thing got this new stuff, I can now take it into my build. Yeah, this has been this update video. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay herbal.
Have fun, y'all.